Okay, I want to show you our clock movement system. Now there's different ways of doing a clock movement system, and you'll notice that I've got one yellow cone. The one yellow cone, I call that a control cone. And what that control cone does is it allows this area to be the dominant area. In other words, I'm going to come back to this yellow cone every second swing. The reason I'm going to do that is because this is the area we want to cut off volleys. We want to be very fast through the centre of the court here. So that's why it's what I call a 3 o'clock control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing over this cone, then over that cone, then this cone again, then that cone, and this cone again, and that cone, and I'm going to go all the way around the clock. There's a couple of little things that you need to understand. When you step and you come back this way, so if I do this one and I go to number 6, I'll go here, then I must turn to face the front wall and go to number 7, here, and there, over to 8. And so on. That way you're basically moving the way you should. This is the only funny one, number 6, because back here I'm a little bit shallow. So in other words, it's a little bit funny coming back into the middle, but it's just as though the balls come right round, and that's the way it would be. The other thing which is really important is we do not go back to the tee. So there's 2 different ways of doing the clock movement. There's one where you go from here, then you go back to the tee, there, back to the tee, there, back to the tee, there, and you can put a little split in if you like as well. So there's a few different ways you can do it, but I'm not going back to the tee deliberately, and the reason is we want to approach the ball from all different directions. So I want to be able to swing here and approach straight that way, as though it was be up the front corner, say. Or I want to be able to approach the centre of the court and attack it really quickly from anywhere, no matter where I am. So if I'm over here, I want to be able to attack there straight away. Or if I'm here, bang, I want to be able to attack there straight away. I don't want to be here, come back here, and then attack there. It takes too long. So here is your one step. The other things is a one step. So I can put the cones out further, which I'll show you in a minute, and there it makes it a shuffle step there. If I bring the cones in here, it is a one step clock movement. So it's one step there, so it's one step from the tee. So this is going to be very fast, but you'll just see how you go. Other thing is I go short grip just so I don't fling the racket around too much. So here we go. It's there, 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 there. And that is it. So you see it happen really quite fast, and it's all about the fast feet, strong balance. And I'm actually slightly out of breath right now, so I held my breath for a lot of that as well, which is probably not what you should do. So you should breathe as well. So don't forget to breathe. It's always a good thing. So that becomes pretty cool, and it's not a bad thing. It's all about fast feet. You notice the feet went from here to there and there. And there was a lot of that shuffle movement, which is really quick movement, and it makes your feet very fast. Changes everything if I simply do this. So I simply change our control to 9 o'clock, which is the backhand. So if I'm in the backhand area here, and I'm going to use that as a control, so now I've got to 9, 8, 9, 7, 9, 6, and so on. And same story here, it is one step. Ready? Right. So you might be concerned over the use of different feet. You'll notice that a lot of the time I'm going this leg, that leg, that leg, that leg, that leg. You'll work it out really quickly. I'm not going to tell you which foot to use because I teach any foot, anywhere. And if you're concerned that you're using the same foot, you would have noticed that from here, I did a bit of that, and I would have used that foot sometimes. And I might have used that foot more, but it is a little bit more dominant on your right leg. But you use both legs to run around the court everywhere. This leg's doing probably ever so slightly more than this leg, but this one's not just a passenger. It's doing a lot of work. And it's all these strong muscles and turn off and push off This one's doing the work there, this one's just landing and holding. This one's doing the driving work, and this one's just doing the stopping work. So both legs get a good mix no matter what. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. If I push them out, an extra step or so, then what happens is it all goes further, and that's a fair bit further. It really makes a difference as to how much work you do. So I've pushed them out about an extra step, and it may or may not be round, but we'll see how we go. That's pretty good there. That's not bad there. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so this becomes a 6-point shuffle step movement with a 9 control. So with the 9 control, it's this one here, there, and I'm going to go every second one, and I'm still not going to go back to the T. So I'm deliberately not going to go back to the T. So let's go from here. So what you notice is there's a lot more shuffling going on there. A lot more. Sometimes I'll take that foot across because I have to. Like that one's a stock standard movement. That's a drop shot. Shuffle change now. Shuffle step change and finish. All right, so if you time yourself with these, it gets really good, and it's quite tough and quite good fun. And once again, I'm out of breath. So if we go to our shuffle step with 3 control, here we go. I like to go off back foot because it's really fast. You could start front foot and go back foot, which is not a bad thing either. So I'll start front foot with this one. Short grip once again. Don't go back to the T. Here we go, fast as you can. There you go. So I got my footwork out a little bit, but you learn really quickly how to just get your feet to move your body around. Sometimes go inside the ball, have to do a little bit with the swing because you're trying to drive and push. Either way, as you can tell, you're trying to work your body and you're trying to get that hard yak effort. So there we go. With the shuffle, the same things apply. We don't go back to the T, so we can actually approach the ball from all different angles and also from different distances, because when you've got to make the decision of whether you can do that and go back foot or you have to go extra step, because I've got long legs, I'll go here and I'll go big and I'll go there because it takes out one whole step, so it's very fast. It just makes a massive difference. If you wanted to, you could probably push this out right out and push them out another little bit. The front one's not as viable in the middle of the court, but every part of the court's usable. Push that back. And then that's becoming tough. It's starting to get really tough. This will take a lot longer, but I will do what I do. So once again, we're not going back to the T. So here we go. And there you go. So it's quite tough, it's quite taxing, and you see the amount of physical effort required is really quite strong. It's really good to do this in short bursts. It's about what you do in a rally. And so if you just get used to doing this sort of work, it becomes pretty consistent, pretty tough, and pretty neat. So it's pretty good fun as well. All right, so then we can go to the stage with our clock where we actually go back to the tee. Once again, we've got our 3 control, and we're going to go back to the tee. This is a long way to do it on, but we'll work on extremities. So this is as big a circle as I can make, with the sidewall setting the distance or the radius of the circle. So I'm going to split at the centre every single time, and I'm going to go back to the tee. Sometimes I may only go just back to about here, or sometimes I may only go just back to about here. So I don't need this to be a finite position. This doesn't have to be a finite position where I have to come back to here, exactly here. Okay, so that's general, back to the middle. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's really quite good because it's more indicative of what you do in a match. I'm just a little bit lightheaded right now as well because of that sudden amount of work, and I haven't been doing so much training over Christmas time. Had a bit of a break, so it's quite good for me to get back into it. All right, so that's very viable. It's really good fun. I would suggest that you don't change your controls over this one and that one, because that's where we like to attack mostly, and so we've got to be really strong in these areas, and that's where we want to do most of the work. If you really wanted to, the only area I would change the cones for would be this area back here. So if you really wanted to get really good at the back court, you would maybe change it for this one and maybe that one back there. And the reason is, so much of the play is in the backhand corner, but I wouldn't waste my time changing the cones for everywhere else, simply because the amount of time you spend going back here is pretty significant, and so therefore it's very viable to make either one of those 2 cones as well a control cone. And if you really wanted to, you could even split this last one back there into the corner a bit more and make it more representative of an actual match where it's in the back corner. So it's pretty cool, it works really well. And there you go, that is your clock systems with a 1-step, a shuffle step, and a full width court in the clock motion with a 9 o'clock and a 3 o'clock control.